It says I'm live. Awesome, awesome. And I have a chat here. You know, it'd be nice. Oh, oops. Hold up. Oh, gotta reset. Okay, I think I gotta reset my video here. Video malfunctioning. Hold up. I'm gonna go down and back up. There we go, I'm back, I believe. There we go. Nice. All right, you know what'd be nice? I've been working on a podcast recently, and in the podcast, I have monitoring headphones. And monitoring headphones. Oh, you know what? I actually do have monitor. I just realized I could set up monitoring here. For those who are unfamiliar, you can plug headphones into a mic, and then it'll directly it'll add direct sound feedback to what you're saying, so you can hear yourself. And there you go. I can hear myself now. Let me make sure. Oh, my video stopped again, huh? Okay. I think that means I gotta leave and come back once again. Third time is a charm. Good to get that out of the way. Get all the glitches out of the way. And let's set me up so that I can see chat as things come. Testing. Hello. Oops. Hello. And that's very nice. Oops. I believe that works, yeah. So if you have, if you'd like to follow along with today's document, for those who are live, it's in the chat. For those who are watching later, it is in the description. I hope you're doing amazingly. And I look forward to seeing anyone attending live. It's always really, live feels really different. So for people who have been watching my videos, live is the first YouTube experiment I'm running. And just immediately it has a completely different feeling. Oh, there you go. Hello. It has a completely different feeling than recording videos, because, I mean, this second and this second and this second, they're all, it's real life. That's live is much closer to real life, and then people can come on and talk to me on chat. So it's a much more just real-time experience, and I just know, especially that's why I posted a text post talking about how if anyone would like to chat to me on audio, they can through the Discord. The Discord channel there's a link in the description of this video. So you can join that, and then we can set up a call, and that would be even more real time. And I find that's the most beautiful advantage of live. We can do real-time stuff, and I really feel like in real time, we can really dig in. And speaking in the grand scheme of things, I think that's where I can provide you the most value, or speaking more self-oriented, that's where I thrive. When people ask me questions, when we're talking, that's where we really can find clarity. So, yeah, those are my recent thoughts. Okay, let's go into this. Business is people is today's topic. And this is these topics, by the way, are inspired by just by the everyday problems of life. You know, I've recently come to realize that it's almost like life is constantly telling you the same lesson. Or like, you know, there are many quotes that talk about stuff like this, right? Like life will keep giving you the same lesson until you learn it, right? And this is the latest one. I've been working with a friend on a podcast, and we've been working together on many projects. And something I just eventually had to accept, I believe, is this right here. Business is people. And it actually unlocked a lot of, it made a lot of actions that I previously thought was strange or embarrassing, things like that, and it made it just obvious. So that's why this idea is has been just so. I've been diving into it so much, and I find it so exciting because it really unlocks. It really unlocks a lot of actions that I previously didn't understand. I'll give you some examples, like sales and marketing. Sales and marketing it's so much easier to understand when you understand that. Cross out the word business. Just cross out the word business completely, and just think completely of people. It becomes, things like that become obvious. So that's what I'd like to talk about today. So business is people. It's a very simple statement here. The theme is a very simple statement, but it's foundational. The more I think about it, the more foundational I realize it is. Business is people. And this is not just a metaphor. This is a real principle that shifts how I see everything. And I'd like to start with some, because the way I think is my thoughts are all branching and they're all interconnecting. And so I just had a series of realizations, and I'll share a few of them with you. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter. This was the first real time I came up with the phrase business is people. Actually, I came up with it while talking with a friend. Here's one. Business is people. This is why, as technology advances, you too must advance. Or else, you will find yourself in a conversation by yourself. Everyone else has moved on. Technology is advancing. The phrase technology is advancing is more easily thought of as people are moving on. And this was a very eye-opening phrase for me, because it helped me realize, oh yeah, technology. What is technology? Technology is only tools we use to interact with one another. And if I'm using different tools than you, then we can no longer collaborate. We can no longer interact. And so when we say technology is advancing, what we're really saying is people are moving on to different tools and different languages. And if you use the old one, well, I can't work with you. That's basically what we mean when we say technology is advancing. So technology is the pipes between people. Business is people. Little foreshadowing. Talking with a friend, I realized that money is also a technology. I'll go a little faster through these. If business is people, it simplifies many ideas for me. Founders, entrepreneurs, startups, they become people providing value to people. And providing value, even simpler, is solving your biggest needs. Trust and reliability become musts. It's not about fancy visions and latest tech. It's people providing for people, Do that and you win. So think more about that one. And I continue to think about this. If business is people, then the heart of it is being understood. If you can't follow, if they can't follow, you're not doing business. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Likes, comments, sales, they're all signs you're going together. So those are a few. I'd like to pause to see if there's anyone with me here. We can talk about these tweets so far, but I'll pause there. I have more tweets, but I'll just go in. I'll dive into the meat of what we're talking about here. First, I'll reflect on that just a little bit to talk about it with you. You know, likes, comments, sales, these are actually, what I realized is they are not vanity metrics. These are not vanity metrics at all. When someone likes your post, what they're saying, I'm going to go more into this later. Okay, what they're saying is, I valued what you did, what you created here. When they comment, they said, I'm feeling you. I'd like to have a conversation about this. When you make a sale, they say, let's work together. And when you say it that way, it sounds way more meaningful than just, oh, I got 1,000 likes today, you know? So I'm thinking more and more about that. It's all about going together. This quote will also play a large role today. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So why does this matter? After a lot of thought, I've come to realize that, or I'm starting to ask the question: Perhaps we have distorted business by thinking in terms of systems and goals, which can be quite self-oriented. But when you realize it's all just people, your natural instincts start working again. Relationship-oriented. Business is simply, hey, I'll do that for you. And then the other person saying, sure. The core realization I've had here is business is people. So everything you already know about how to treat people, listening, sharing, teaching, it still applies to business. You're not fundamentally building systems, you are building relationships. And if you treat people like people, business becomes obvious. The real world example I am going through right now is I'm considering teaching English here in Korea, tutoring one-to-one, and my friend is also looking around. And you know, if you have the view of like this detached, like systems-oriented approach to this, then you say like, okay, where is the agency? Who can I talk with, and where can I apply to find my clients? You know, like if you use these phrases, it can become quite detached and systems oriented, and you lose touch with what you're actually doing here, which is teaching one person English. If business is people, you can realize that this is way easier. You can say, hey, you can tell everyone you know, and this is what we're doing now. Hey, I'd like to let you know that I'm beginning to offer one-to-one business English with for tutoring. If there's anyone that you know that is looking to start that, then please let me know. Can you please let me know? And then all I need to do is meet that one person. And if that one person is interested in working with me, and then that's it. I'm making money now. Like the first time we meet for an hour, I'm already making money. And that's way simpler. Like actually, fundamentally, that is business. Business is one person agreeing to work with another person, right? So business is people. Let me gather my thoughts here. Okay, I cannot find that right now, so we'll keep talking, and there we go. So yeah, actually, so part of my thesis here is that we crazy overcomplicate what business is. If I offer this and you say that it's valuable to you, then we're done. And as I said before, trust and reliability become musts, because if you don't trust me to do what we're agreeing to do, then it's going to be too scary to say yes. Now, back to this quote about going alone and going together. The quote is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I've been reflecting a lot about this because a lot of my life, I have been all about going alone. And it's useful. This is how I've been operating, building, thinking, and refining. And if I go alone, I can go really fast. Things become way simpler in a way, right? But I started to question this, because going fast also means ignoring many things, specifically other people and what they tell me they want and need. So when people complain, or they make requests, or current events are happening, or there are trends in markets that are happening that are unrelated to what I'm doing. These are actually deeply honest signals of what people find valuable. Complaints is especially something that I've been I have a tendency to ignore. But what I've been talking about with my friend is like, hey, actually a complaint is like the easiest way to find out where you can be of service to someone. So, oh, if you see this complaint everywhere, oh, okay, well, what if we solve that problem? That's a business, right? So going alone has led me to ignore a lot of things. But going together, that's what I've been like really diving into thinking about now, which is reaching and moving with people, communicating clearly, creating something useful for them, seeing if we can move forward together, paying deep attention to what I was previously ignoring. Going fast had led me to ignore what people find valuable and how to actually help them. That's the core right there. That's the core right there. If I go alone and go fast and I dive into these things that I think are valuable, there's no guarantee that it's actually valuable. And I wasn't paying attention to the feedback, the metrics, I talk about it to someone, they find it very interesting. Oh, but that's very interesting. That's what they're basically saying is that doesn't pertain to me. I don't think that's valuable, right? So I've been reflecting on that. So I'd like to take a moment and see if there's anyone who would like to talk a little bit about what's been said so far. And then I'll move on. Go ahead and if you'd like to talk about that. So that's what I've been thinking about so far. Another example, and like one of the most recent experiments I've been diving into. One has been Twitter, X, and I've been asking myself the question, why is there such a thing as the metrics of social media? Why is there such a thing as virality? What do views tell me? Like, what does the algorithm tell me, right? And I've been building the theory that social media metrics is really telling you, as the creator, are we still walking together? Metrics aren't just numbers, they're signals of alignment. They tell me if I'm still walking with someone or if I've accidentally gone alone. So if I post something and I get a like, then the person is saying, oh, this is useful to me. If I get a comment, the content was thought-provoking for them and they wanted to share their thought. If they share it with other people, they think this is valuable enough to discuss it with others. If there's a drop in metrics, if people stop watching or it doesn't spread, then that's a message from other people saying you lost me. If I get a sale, that's someone saying I get it, I understand, and I'd like to work with you. And I've been thinking about two examples that I've observed recently. One is Gary Vee. Gary Vee he's very honest with himself when he's making his videos. He says, if my video is not getting a lot of views, he's brutally honest to himself and he accepts that the video wasn't good. He sucks. And before thinking about like going fast and going alone, right? Going fast and going alone. I didn't understand that. But now when I think about going together and going far and going together, I understand this perspective much more. It is relationship oriented. Ultimately, this content I'm making right here, for example, is for you, the viewer. I've been trying that perspective on. And and perhaps what I've been exploring all along, I found valuable. But perhaps that's not the full extent of my task here, my job here. Step one is to find what's valuable to me. Step two is to go together with you to make it valuable for you, and really ask myself that question. How does that happen? The other example here is sales. A sale is a moment when someone sees it clearly enough to act. The transaction, the person saying yes, is an indication that the person is sufficiently aligned. So if I offer something to you, let's say a classic example is insurance. I don't know enough about insurance to say yes or no. So I'm just going to say no thank you, right? But a salesperson's job, when I understand, going together, is talking with that person and finding exactly where they are unclear. And then once they understand everything about this in a way that's related to them, well, now they can actually say yes or no. And when they say yes, what that means is they get it now. It's clear to them, and you can work together. All right. So this has been my obsession, and I've been talking about this. Sales is not convincing. It is clarity. If I offer something of value to you, and you simply don't respond or you answer no, then it doesn't have to be this reaction of like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Then it's actually, oh well, this is valuable. And actually, when I think about like the customers out there, you are someone that would find this valuable. So are you open to meeting and talking about it? So we can make sure that you really don't want it, or if you're just saying no because it's unclear to you, right? And that's like, when I think about business as people and going together, it makes sales way more noble of a profession than I thought before. A sale, when someone buys something, it means, I understand. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's work together. For jobs, there's no system doing the hiring. One person is offering to provide value, that's the job seeker, and the other is accepting. And this is a partnership. This is not charity. This is not hierarchy. And if I knew this, applying for jobs would be so much more comfortable. And I think if people knew this. When you make an offer, when you create a product, you're simply saying, here's a way to keep going together with me if it helps you. And when they purchase, what we have done is we've created a partnership. We're working together. Money. Money is merely a symbol that indicates that the customer agreed that this is valuable and wants to collaborate with the other person to get it. So money is just a symbol that represents these relationships and collaborations. So yeah, I've been thinking all about like, okay, let's maybe perhaps in this phase of my life, I'm going to start running experiments about how to go together. And one of the first places I'd like to do this, or I'd like to think about doing this, is with INTPs. If you are an INTP watching, what does it look like to go together with INTPs? What could I build with them and for them? And that's what we call a product, right? A product, using this frame, is simply something I've built that's ready-made, that I've seen. I'm essentially, you can analogize it to like a bridge. It's like, hey, I've heard a lot of people complaining about this thing here. They don't know how to get from here to here. And I've built something that goes from there to there. And that's what this is. Do you agree that that's valuable? If you agree that's valuable, let's work together. That's what a product is. And then when the person purchases, they're saying, okay, I get it. Let's work together. And by the way, like, the more I think about this, the more I see, like for example, the economy. When the economy is booming, I've come to realize that when the economy is booming, really what you're saying is humankind has developed trust in one another, and they are collaborating at greater and greater levels. That's what it means when the economy is booming. That's what GDP is. GDP is a measurement of human collaboration. If I extend what I'm talking about here, when people start collaborating with one another, let's say like I'm working with you, right? And this last month you made $20,000 or something. Well, or the last 4 months you've made $20,000. Well, now you start to really trust what's going on here, and you say, well, because I can see that things are going to start to be like $50,000 a month, I can hire someone else to help work with me. Now you can see that the first level of collaboration has expanded into a second level of collaboration with this new employee that you've hired. And when I think of money and business like this, wow, I come to realize that business really is people, and perhaps everything is people. And actually, by the way, like I can even do a complete episode on like how the economy is currently working, because when we use this as the fundamental principle, everything makes sense. But by the way, I'll just talk about it here. By the way, like that, like capitalism. Capitalism. The fundamental idea of capitalism is ownership, and the reason why the system exists is because people have distributed amounts of resources, and for example, we might want something right now. So, using the analogy of the bridge, I can see that if we build a bridge here, we will provide an immense amount of value for everyone. But I don't have the resources to build a bridge. So capitalism is all about like, hey, if we build this bridge, we'll provide this much value for everyone, and I need resources to be able to do it. So if you provide some of the resources, then I will give you a percentage of the ownership of this company. The advantage I get now is that instead of having to work for the rest of my life to gather that money, I can have it today. And the advantage you get is you get to share in the value created by that bridge. So, in short, you can think about like this creates an inefficient system because since we found a new way to collaborate through ownership, we can build something today that is win-win for everyone. Whereas before, when we didn't collaborate with one another and we didn't trust one another, it would take my entire lifetime and it probably would just never work. It probably would just never happen. And when you hear it described this way, you can hear that at the base of this is trust. Because, if at any point, like a marauder, like maybe even a government figure comes in and what do you call it? Like they take it, then why would anyone partake in this partnership, right? So yeah, that's like the extension of this idea of business as people. Then it explains many things, and capitalism is one of the things. Like when I think about this, I just think about all the different systems we use and how they are all related to the idea that people are here and we are collaborating, and the game is to develop trust in one another and collaborate more efficiently. So I'm going to open up the chat here. And for people who are watching this later, you can leave a comment and we can talk about it. Questions are, who are some people you feel you are walking with? And if it's no one, I suggest you think a little more because, I suggest you think a little more. Where are you still trying to go alone? Oh man, that's a good question for me. Have you experienced a moment of I get it recently? Perhaps it led to a purchase or decision. For me, yes. So as you reflect on those questions, I will share with you the rest of the tweets. So, here's another one. Business is people. Personal branding, quote unquote, is being known at scale. That's it. So every time I walk outside and I let myself be known by people, that is personal branding. And then what they talk about in the internet business world is simply using social media tools to amplify that. Here are some other thoughts. Extending from people, be ravenous for engagement, not for the validation that's self-oriented, but rather because engagement means you are providing value. Engagement means people are connecting and being influenced. Engagement means a community in sync. If I'm speaking to you and I'm using a different language, then we are not in sync. Related, promote yourself, not because you believe in yourself, but because your customers need what you provide, because the world needs what you provide, because your thoughts and actions are valuable, should not be ignored, and should not go to waste. Spread your value. I thought of that one because of this job search that my friend was going through. He had this view that looking for a job is basically like asking a favor, going around and like asking for money, begging for money. But I thought about it, and I thought about, business as people kind of aspect. That's not what's happening there. When you are on a job search, realistically speaking, what you're saying is, I'd like to offer you value. I'm looking to be of service to people. Who is in need of that service? And so, if that's the case, if that is what you're doing, then obviously, what are you doing? What are you doing if you're not promoting yourself? What you're doing is you're offering it to everyone, right? I had something else to say about that. Well, I'll go back to that. Okay, next. Self-made sounds noble until you realize no product exists without a buyer. No speech exists without a listener. No growth happens without the attention of other people. All success is built on interconnection. And you think being quiet is humble. It's not. Often, it's selfish. Oops. It's not. Often, it's selfish. If what you have to say is useful and you hold it back, you're robbing them. You're not being considerate. You're deciding for them out of misplaced self-importance. Speak. Share freely. Let them decide. And that's related to this, to the job search. So once I understand that what a person is doing when they are going on a job search is, they are saying, I am making available these services, and anyone who is looking for those services, let's collaborate. And when you think this way, then it becomes obvious to let every single person that you can think of know that you are making this available to them. And this turns into like a partnership discussion where it's like peer-to-peer getting the job, as opposed to what I think is like a very common perspective, which is, please, please give me a job, which is not what's happening. It's not what's happening. I also relate this to dating. There's a reason why the other person is looking for a date, and it's like if someone comes into a date, or someone's looking for a date, and they have the same kind of perspective, which is that like they don't understand that they are providing things and we're like looking to provide things for the other person, then it can become strange. Like just like with the job, like someone's like desperately looking for someone's desperately looking to learn English, right? Well, then if I say, oh, hey, I teach English, and I actually happen to have a time that I can set up with you, me offering that, me letting that person know, is of immense service for them. And in the same way, in a date, like this person is desperately looking for someone, and you happen to be that kind of person. Well, me offering that kind of person to them is of immense service for them. And in a way, by taking on the responsibility of letting a person know what is available to them, and exploring that idea, and really getting clear whether it is something that they would value or not. And then if it's not what they value, then I can say, oh yeah, okay, I see that this is probably not a good fit for you. Thank you. Or if it is, then you really make sure that they understand that it is, and then we can make an agreement. All of this sounds quite above ground for me, and so thinking about this has really unlocked many more forms of communication for me that are not directly give me related. Which led me to another frame. this like I've been doing a lot of thought about this. This led me to another frame where I described that sales, maybe like a sales call. I think the perfect frame for sales is discovery, which is a way to wrap up what I'm talking about here, which is like, hey, I have observed that I think you might find this valuable, and let's find out together if it is. And if it's not, it's not. But if it is, let's make sure, or let's really clarify that. And again, that really, I think that evaporates a lot of the ickiness that one might feel around these kinds of things. And yeah, that's what I've been like deeply thinking about these days. So for the people that are tuned in, here's some questions, and that's the idea. So essentially, what I went from today is I talked about how I use the idea of business as people to think about, to like simplify a lot of ideas, and then think about how like going alone is going fast, going together is going far. And when I think about that idea, I realize that business is all about going together and really looking to see how I can go together with other people. And I start to wonder now that like perhaps going alone is essentially, if I'm going fully alone, essentially what I become is I have no agreements with other people where I offer value, and thus the definition, that sounds like the definition of being poor, right? So if anyone would like to make a comment about that, go ahead. But I guess that means that I will move into closing then. So that's the idea I've been thinking about. Business is not strategy, it's not systems, it's people. Strategy and systems are done to serve that one person that you're talking to. Or actually, it might even be what's used to communicate to a large organization about how to serve the people. But ultimately, it's about the person you're talking to. Every metric, sale, and message is just one person following the other to the next step. So if you like this video, we're going to the next step of our relationship. You are communicating to me that like this is good. Thumbs up, man. Thumbs up. I approve of this, and you're taking one step up towards me. A comment is another, and thinking in the strategy and systems world, that's essentially what a funnel represents, right? But a funnel is nothing but just increasing levels of trust and collaboration and intimacy. So this is the idea that I will continue exploring now. Invite them to continue going together with you wherever you are next. So there are many ways that I'm exploring that now. One being simply looking better. If looking better is of value to you, then that's something to consider. Because why would I make it harder for you to collaborate with me? Timeliness, communication in general, being aware of what you will need next. And then, by the way, and we'll make this open until I get tired or like the 12-minute mark, or sorry, 12-hour mark. But certain marketing ideas, marketing in general, becomes much clearer when you think of it this way. So one marketing idea is call to action, right? And when you approach it from a strategic and metric-based way of thinking, then you say, yeah, you make a call to action, like subscribe to, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel, right? And then you see the subscriptions go up, and you say, oh, well, okay, then I should say that more, right? That's the metrics way of saying it. But the people way of saying it is, I can be a guide to you, and everything that I see is of value to you. I can offer every single step up to that place. Just so that you don't have to think about it, right? Like I was at a restaurant, and I was using the salt shaker, and then since I was holding it, I thought, okay, let me offer it to my friend, like, hey, would you like some salt? And then he can say yes or no, but by asking, I made it available to him, and I was able to leverage my mind so that he didn't have to think about it. I mean, taking a step back, I offered, I knew about the restaurant. It was a burger restaurant that I liked. I knew about it, and by offering it and talking about it with him, he's like, hey, I said, hey, it's nearby, would you like to go? These are also calls to action. And the service I provide to the person is they don't have to think about what the next step is. They just have to say yes or no. And so if each step of the way in like some piece of content, I provide you the next step, then what I'm doing is, this is a service. I'm giving you, I'm guiding you along the way. And what I see here, by the way, I see, this is part of a series of YouTube experiments. And these lives are, this is the, we're going to call this the second one. You know what? We're going to call this the third one. I'm going to do this 5 times, and then I'm going to do a review video talking about what I have seen is the most valuable aspects of lives. Why do they exist, right? But I'm not sure where I'm going with that. But what I'd like to say is, that guiding aspect is something that I didn't realize, and that's a very simple way to understand what calls to action are about. Right, like so after you watch this video, if you like the video, then you can click the like button. If you have any comments that you like to share about anything that you see today, then feel free to comment about the questions. And if you want to see more of the videos, then feel free to subscribe. And real-time reflecting on that call to action, that's equivalent to me saying, giving you three different directions in real time. Like if you say, where's the bathroom, and I say, oh well, if you'd like to go to the bathroom on the third floor, it's there. If the second floor, it's there. First floor, it's there. Just upon immediate reflection, it might be the least clear, like not so clear of a direction. So reflecting in real time, let me give you one direction here. If you had any thoughts, like ignore all the other stuff. If you had any thoughts that you would love to share, or any questions you'd like to ask, I'd love to have a discussion with you. Leave comments, let's talk, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going together with you, and I'll talk to you as a peer and we're doing this life thing together, right? That's my one call to action. And if you notice, like it's not all about me. A call to action is a guiding step for the listener. Let's see. So we have 10 minutes left here. So I mean, I won't just like go over for no reason. So I'll take a minute here to see if there's anything else I'd like to talk about with you. Some more connections about business as people is it helps me understand, for example, the purpose of VC firms. I'm wondering to myself if it's valuable for me to share with you many examples, but let's do it and find out. Okay, so VC firms. VC firms are there to partner with people who are seeking to provide things of immense value, but the person doesn't have capital available to make it happen. So, I mean, ChatGPT is an example of something that is so huge that no one person probably has enough resources to make it happen. So they pool their resources. And VC firms are all about like making the capital available for these large projects. And I see this large project as possible, and then I work with the VC firm. They provide the capital to make this happen. Now, for many of these huge projects, like the number one priority is behavior change. So in the case of Uber, like they had to create a whole new system of working. So they incentivized all of it. They provided a money bonus for you becoming a new driver. And so like they needed a lot of drivers to make the system available so the service feels good. And then they provide like heavily subsidized rides, and maybe even like cash bonuses for taking rides. I don't remember. But all of that was required first. All of that behavior change was required first, before you could even think about revenue or profits or like how this makes any financial sense. But that's understood by everyone. This is an endeavor that's huge, and it's not about the immediate money or profits or return. It's about setting up a system such that it's more valuable to everyone who is involved. And so they provided the resources to take on literal behavior change in the world, which is just that takes a lot of resources to do. And so I understand that much better now. That I understand that business is people, and going far requires going together. I see, yeah. I'll share one more thought is, I think this is what's actually, what's the largest disconnect for the technical people, like, engineers, is engineers are so set on going fast and going alone that they can end up quite detached from what people are actually looking for. And in the technology world, actually, that's a big issue. Like, people are going fast and going alone, and this is why they often just build things and just can't find customers, because no one wanted that thing. And thus why places like Y Combinator, they're so set on MVP, make something fast, get in front of users as fast as possible, and then iterate, watch the user use it and see how they feedback, and then watch what the user is looking for so that you can build upon that. It's user-oriented, user-focused, because ultimately what you're doing is providing value to another person. And now, understanding business as people, this makes a lot more sense. This is also why Peter Thiel says, do the unscalable. If the person is having trouble signing up for your service, go over to their house and help them sign up, and then show them how to use it. And then, like, every single step of the process, you take responsibility for, so that them and value are already there. And then once they say, oh, this is very valuable, okay. After that, if it provides value like that, it's all done. It's done. So I think I just, like, what I'm talking about today, I think is so important. In a way, I can say, like a business's job, a business person's job, is to handle everything, every single thing, every costly thing between you and value, so that all you have to do is say yes to the value and you get it, and everything else is my responsibility. That's what I've been thinking about, and that's what I think, like, the most successful business people are like. So they're listening to every single thing, and they do not complain, and they do not pass responsibility onto anyone else ultimately, because ultimately, if something is valuable, then the market will, then the other person will respond as expected. If I give you something and you like it, then you will say, wow, this is great. And if you say something other than that, then it's not your fault. If I give you something and you don't think it's valuable, it's not your fault. It is my responsibility to figure out why, as the business person. Right? So I've been thinking a lot about these things, and yeah, okay, I'll show you that tweet again, which is having me meet a lot of people and ask, like, very pointed questions about how what's going on in their lives, because I understand this now, which is, you think being quiet is humble. It's not. Often it's selfish. If what you have to say is useful and you hold it back, you're robbing them. You're not being considerate. You're deciding for them out of misplaced self-importance. Speak. Share freely. Let them decide. And so, I present this to you. If it was valuable, then it was valuable, and the result and the response will be commensurate. The response will be in reflection of how valuable it was. Please let me know if it was valuable. And yes, let's do that simple call to action. Any thoughts you have, any answers you have to the questions, anything else you'd like to talk about, please leave a comment. I will answer every single one because I would like to go far and go together with you. That is my latest experiment. And I look forward to talking to you next week. I believe it's going to be the same time, about whatever topic has inspired me this week. I hope you enjoyed.